Shalom, brothers and sisters!
Shalom, everybody.
Aman, aman. Alright. Yahuwah Baruch you all brothers and sisters out there in the faith that are longing to get filled with His Word. Aman. So, right now we are about to keep on studying the Word, the Testament of the 12. And we are on Joseph, the 11th son of Yaakov and Rachel. Rachel. Alright. Oh, I love it. This is going to be awesome.
Should I start?
Yeah.
Okay. Chapter 1.
Thank you.
The copy of the Testament of Joseph. When he was about to die, he called his sons and his brethren together and said to them, My brethren and my children, hearken to Joseph, the beloved of Israel. Give ear, my sons, unto your father. I have seen in my life envy and death, yet I went not astray, but preserved in the truth of Yahuwah. These, my brethren, hated me, but Yahuwah loved me.
Hallelujah.
They wished to slay me, but the Elohim of my fathers guarded me. They let me down into a pit, and the Most High brought me up again.
Man!
I was sold into slavery, and Yahuwah of all made me free. I was taken into captivity, and His strong hand secured me. I was beset with hunger, and Yahuwah Himself nourished me. I was alone, and Elohim comforted me. I was sick, and Yahuwah visited me. I was in prison, and my Elohim showed favor unto me. In bonds, and He released me. Slandered, and He pleaded my cause. Bitterly spoken against by the Egyptians, and He delivered me. Envied by my fellow slaves, and He exalted me.
Aman.
Hallelujah.
Aman. Thank you, Majesty. Chapter 2. And this chief captain of Pharaoh entrusted to me his house, and I struggled against a shameless woman, urging me to transgress with her. But the Elohim of Israel, my father, delivered me from the burning flame. I was cast into prison. I was beaten. I was mocked. But Yahuwah granted me to find mercy in the sight of the keeper of the prison. For Yahuwah does not forsake them that fear me, neither in darkness, nor in bonds, nor in tribulations, nor in necessities. For Elohim is not put to shame as a man, nor as the Son of Man is He afraid, nor as one that is earth-born is He weak or affrighted. But in all those things doth He give protection, and in divers ways doth He comfort, though for a little space He departeth to try the inclination of the soul. In 10 temptations He showed me approved, and in all of them I endured. For endurance is a mighty charm, and patience giveth many good things.
I like that. How
Wow.
So we know in James it says Yahuwah does not tempt man, because he's
Right.
temptable. But Yahuwah, it says right here, Joseph said that Yahuwah departed him for a time so that his soul could be tried.
Right.
And so when you think that Yahuwah is not with you,
Oh,
be ready because
you're being refined.
Being refined, and
It's time for you to step up
as you endure.
Oh yeah, help me endure, Your Majesty.
Amen. Chapter 3. How often did the Egyptian women threaten me with death? How often did she give me over to punishment, and then call me back and threaten me? And when I was unwilling to company with her, she said to me, Thou shalt be Lord over me, and all that is in my house, if thou wilt give thyself unto me, and thou shalt be as our master. But I remembered the words of my father, going into the chamber. I wept and prayed unto Yahuwah and fasted in those 7 years. And I appeared to the Egyptians as one living delicately, for they that fast for Elohim's sake receive beauty of face. And if my Elohim were away from home, if my master were away from home, I drank no wine, nor for 3 days did I take my food, but I gave it to the poor and sick. And I sought Yahuwah early, and I wept for the Egyptian woman of Memphis, for very unceasingly did she trouble me. For also at night she came to me under pretense of visiting me, and because she had no male child, she pretended to regard me as a son. And so I prayed to Yahuwah, and she bare a male child. And for a time she embraced me as a son, and I knew it not. But later she sought to draw me into fornication, and when I perceived it, I sorrowed unto death. And when she had gone out, I came to myself and lamented for many days, because I recognized her guile and her deceit. And I declared unto her the words of the Most High, if haply she would turn from her evil lusts.
Whoa. Chapter 4. Often, therefore, did she flatter me with words as a holy man, and guilefully in her talk praised my chastity before her husband, while desiring to ensnare me when we were alone, for she lauded me open as chastity. And in secret she said unto me, Fear not, my husband, for he is persuaded concerning thy chastity. For even should one tell him concerning us, he would not believe. Owning to all these things, I lay upon the ground and besought Elohim that Yahuwah would deliver me from her deceit. And when she had prevailed nothing thereby, she came again to me under the plea of instruction, and that she might learn the word of Elohim. And she said unto me, If thou willest that I should leave my idols, lie with me, and I will persuade my husband to depart from his idols, and we will walk in the Torah of Yahuwah. And I said unto her, Yahuwah willeth not that those who revere him should be in uncleanness, nor doth he take pleasure in them that commit adultery, but in those that approach him with a pure heart and undefiled lips. But she held her peace, longing to accomplish her evil desire, and I gave myself yet more to fasting and prayer, that Yahuwah might deliver me from her. Dang.
Pretty rough.
Yeah.
And again, another time she said in chapter 5,
Thank you.
And again, another time she said unto me, If thou wilt not commit adultery, I will kill my husband by poison, and take thee to be my husband. I therefore, when I heard this, rent my garments, and said unto her, Woman, reverence Elohim, and do not do this evil deed, lest thou be destroyed. For know indeed that I will declare this thy device unto all men. She therefore, being afraid, besought that I would not declare this device, and she departed soothing me with gifts, and sending to me every delight of the sons of men.
Chapter 6. And afterwards she sent me food mingled with enchantments. Oh, sounds like Mystery Babylon. And when the eunuch who brought it came, I looked up and beheld a terrible man giving me with the dish a sword. And I perceived that her scheme was to beguile me. And when he had gone out, I wept, nor did I taste that or any other of her food. So we are going to be messed up by the food nowadays, and we see it today. So then, after one day, she came to me and observed the food, and said unto me, Why is it that thou hast not eaten the food? And I said unto her, It is because thou hast filled it with deadly enchantments. And how sayest thou, I come not near to idols, but to Yahuwah alone? Now therefore, know that the Elohim of my father hath revealed unto me by his messenger thy wickedness, and I have kept it to convict thee, if haply thou mayest see and repent, but that thou mayest learn that the wickedness of the ungodly hath no power over them that worship Elohim with chastity. Behold, I will take of it, and eat before thee. And having so said, I prayed thus: The Elohim of my father and the messenger of Abraham be with me, and ate. And when she saw this, she fell upon her face at my feet weeping. And I raised her up and admonished her. What's admonished?
Corrected her?
And she promised to do this iniquity no more.
Chapter 7. But her heart was still set upon evil, and she looked around how to ensnare me. And sighing deeply, she became downcast, though she was not sick. And when her husband saw her, he said unto her, Why is thy countenance fallen? And she said unto him, I have a pain at my heart, and the groaning of my spirit oppress me. And so he comforted her who was not sick. Then accordingly, seizing an opportunity, she rushed unto me while her husband was yet without, and said unto me, I will hang myself, or cast myself over a cliff, if thou wilt not lie with me. And when I saw the spirit of Beliar was troubling her, I prayed unto Yahuwah, and said unto her, Why, wretched woman, art thou troubled and disturbed, blinded through sins? Remember that if thou kill thyself, as Teho, that's her name, I think. The concubine of thy husband, thy rival, will beat thy children, and thou wilt destroy thy memorial from off the earth. Teho is the concubine.
Right.
And she said unto me, Lo, Then thou lovest me. Let this suffice me. Only strive for my life and my children, and I expect that I shall enjoy my desire also. But she knew not that because of my master I spoke thus, and not because of her. For if a man has fallen before the passion of a wicked desire and become enslaved by it, even as she, whatever good thing he may hear with regard to that passion, he receives it with a view to his wicked desire. Dang, so like, you understand what's said?
Do you?
Kind of. It's like saying that even though he's doing something good for her, but not for her own sake, she views it as because he loves her, even though because that's her desire for him to love her. But he's doing it because for respect of his master, nothing to do with her. And so it's like a blinding effect that people can receive.
So that's what I said earlier. You're blinded by your sins.
Right.
Right. I'm not showing how. Chapter 8. I declare, therefore, unto you, my children, that it was about the 6th hour when she departed from me, and I knelt before Yahuwah all day and all the night. And about dawn I arose up, weeping the while and praying for a release from her. At last, then she laid hold of my garments, forcibly dragging me to have connection with her. When, therefore, I saw that in her madness she was holding fast to my garment, I left it behind and fled away naked. And holding fast to the garment, she falsely accused me. And when her husband came, he cast me into prison in his house. And on the morrow he scourged me and sent me into Pharaoh's prison. And when I was in bonds, the Egyptian woman was oppressed with grief. And she came and heard how I gave thanks unto Yahuwah and sang praises in the abode of darkness, and with glad voice rejoiced, glorifying my Elohim, that I was delivered from the lustful desires of the Egyptian woman. Oh, hallelujah.
Alright.
So he was praying to be delivered, and bam, he was.
Mm-hmm. Chapter 9. Chapter 9! Chapter 9!
Thank you. Yeah.
And often hath she sent unto me, saying, consent to fulfill my desire, and I will release thee from thy bonds, and I will free thee from the darkness. And not even in a thought did I incline unto her. For Elohim loves him who in a den of wickedness combines fasting with chastity, rather than the man who in king's chambers combines luxury with license. And if a man lives in chastity and desires also glory, and the Most High knows that it is expedient for him, he bestows this also upon me. How often, though she were sick, did she come down to me unlooked for times, and listened to my voice as I prayed, and when I heard her groanings, I held my peace. For when I was in her house, she was wont to bare her arms and breasts and legs, that I might lie with her. For she was very beautiful, splendidly adorned, in order to beguile me, and a cool guard me from her devices.
Whoa. Chapter 10. Ye see, therefore, my children, how great things patience worketh, and prayer with fasting. So ye too, If ye follow after chastity and purity, with patience and prayer, with fasting and humility of heart, Yahuwah will dwell among you, because he loveth chastity. What is chastity?
Not having sex. It could be saying a virgin.
And wheresoever the Most High dwelleth, even though envy, or slavery, or slander befalleth a man, Yahuwah, who dwelleth in him, for the sake of his chastity, not only delivereth him from evil, but also exalteth him even as me. For in every way the man is lifted up, whether in deed or in word or in thought. My brethren knew how my Father loved me, and yet I did not exalt myself in my mind. Although I was a child, I had the fear of Elohim in my heart, for I knew that all things would pass away, and I did nor raise myself against them with evil intent, but I honored my brethren, and out of respect for them, even when I was being sold, I refrained from telling the Ishmaelites that I was a son of Yaakov, a great man and a mighty. Yeah.
Chapter 11. Do ye also, my children, have the fear of Elohim in all your works before your eyes, and honor your brethren. For everyone who does the Torah of Yahuwah shall be loved by him. And when I came to the Indokopite,
What is that?
Indokopalate?
Indokopite.
With the Ishmaelites.
Ishmaelites.
They asked me, saying, Art thou a slave? And I said that I was a homeborn slave, that I might not put my brethren to shame. And the eldest of them said unto me, Thou art no slave, for even thy appearance does make it manifest. But I said that I was their slave. Now when we came unto Egypt, they strove concerning me, which of them should buy me and take me. Therefore it seemed good to all that I should remain in Egypt, with the merchant of their trade, until they should return bringing merchandise. And Yahuwah gave me favor in the eyes of the merchant, and he entrusted unto me his house. And Elohim blessed him by my means, and increased him in gold and silver, and in household servants. And I was with him 3 months and 5 days.
So the Ishmaelites had the love of Yahuwah.
What?
I don't know. At the beginning, have the fear. Do ye also, my children, have... Oh, he's talking to his children. Alright, my bad. Beautiful.
He doesn't tell the Ishmaelites that that his brothers were selling him as a slave and that he's not a slave.
Right.
He wasn't giving the family a bad rep.
You know? And about that time, the Memphian woman, the wife of Ben Tefri, came down in a chariot with great pomp, because she had heard from her eunuchs concerning me, eunuchs, and she told her husband that the merchant had become rich by means of a young Hebrew, and they say that he had assuredly been sold out of the land of Canaan. Now, therefore, render justice unto him, and take away the youth to thy house, so shall the Elohim of the Hebrews bless thee, for grace from heaven is upon him.
That's right.
Chapter 13.
Oh. And Pentephris, that's Potiphar, I'm thinking, was persuaded by her words, and commanded the merchant to be brought, and said unto him, What is this that I hear concerning thee, that thou stealest persons out of the land of Canaan, and sells them for slaves? But the merchant fell at his feet and besought him, saying, I beseech thee, my master, I know not what you say. And Pentephris said unto him, Whence then is the Hebrew slave? And he said, The Ishmaelites entrusted him unto me until they return. But he believed him not, but commanded him to be stripped and beaten. And when he persisted, and this day Pentephris said, Let the youth be brought. And when I was brought in, I did obeisance to Pentephris, for he was third in rank of the officers of Pharaoh. And he took me apart from him, and said unto me, Art thou a slave or free? And I said, A slave. And he said, Whose? And I said, The Ishmaelites. And he said, How did thou become their slave? And I said, They bought me out of the land of Canaan. And he said unto me, Truly thou lies. And straightway he commanded me to be stripped and beaten.
All right. Chapter 14. Now, the Memphian woman was looking through a window at me while I was being beaten, for her house was near, and she sent unto him, saying, Thy judgment is unjust, for thou dost punish a free man who hath been stolen, as though he were a transgressor. And when I made no change in my statement, that shows like Yahushua when he gets punished for being. Alright. Though I was beaten, he ordered me to be imprisoned until, he said, the owners of the boy should come. And the woman said unto her husband, Wherefore dost thou detain the captive and well-born lad in bonds, who ought rather to be set at liberty and be waited upon? For she wished to see me out of the desire of sin, and I was ignorant concerning all these things. And he said to her, It is not the custom of the Egyptians to take that which belongeth to others before proof is given. This, therefore, he said concerning the merchant. But as for the lad, he must be imprisoned. Bernie?
15. Now after 24 days came the Ishmaelites, for they had heard that Jacob my father was mourning much concerning me. And they came and said unto me, How is it that thou says that thou art a slave? And lo, we have learnt that thou art the son of a mighty man in the land of Canaan, and thy father still mourns for thee in sackcloth and ashes. When I heard this, my bowels were dissolved, and my heart melted. I desired greatly to weep, but I restrained myself, that I should not put my brethren to shame. And I said unto them, I know not, I am a slave. Then, therefore, they took counsel to sell me, that I should not be found in their hands. For they feared my father, lest he should come and execute upon them a grievous vengeance. For they had heard that he was mighty with Elohim and with men. Then said the merchant unto them, Release me from the judgment of Pentefree. And they came and requested me, saying, Say that thou was bought by us with money, and he will set us free.
So who's bought with money?
Joseph.
Alright.
The Ishmaelites are telling him to say.
Alright. Chapter 16. Now the Memphian woman said to her husband, Buy the youth, for I hear, said she, that they are selling him. And straightway he sent a eunuch to the Ishmaelites, and asked them to sell me. But since the eunuch would not agree to buy me at their price, he returned, having made trial of them. What's trial of them?
Like judgment?
Oh. And he made known to his mistress that they asked a large price for their slave. And she sent another eunuch, saying, Even though they demand 2 minas, give them. Do not spare the gold, only buy the boy, and bring him to me. The eunuch therefore went and gave them 8 pieces of gold, and he received me. But to the Egyptian woman he said, I have given 100, and I thought I knew that. Oh, and I thought I knew this. I held my peace.
And though I knew this,
I held my peace, lest the eunuch should be put to shame.
Right.
So the eunuch gave him 8 instead of giving him 100. So he got a whole bunch of gold, right? So like everybody's like making like they're all winning off Yahushua or
interesting.
Yeah.
17. Take that stuff off. You see therefore, my children, what great thing I endured, that I should not put my brethren to shame. Do ye also, therefore, love one another, and with long suffering hide ye one another's faults. For Elohim delights in the unity of brethren, and in the purpose of a heart that takes pleasure in love. And when my brethren came into Egypt, they learned that I had returned their money unto them, and upbraided them not, and comforted them. And after the death of Yaakov my father, I loved them more abundantly. In all things whatsoever he commanded, I did very abundantly for them. And I suffered them not to be afflicted in the smallest manner, and all that was in my hand I gave unto them. And their children were my children, and my children as their servants. And their life was my life, and all their suffering was my suffering, and all their sickness was my infirmity. My land was their land, and their counsel my counsel. And I exalted not myself among them in arrogance because of my worldly glory, but I was among them as one of the least.
Yahushua all the way.
Just like it.
Chapter 18. If ye, it sounds like you're saying go the wind.
It is.
Yeah. I'm like, what is that? Alright.
Yeah?
Yeah, really. If ye also therefore walk in the commandments of Yahuwah, my children, he will exalt you there, and will bless you with good things forever and ever. And if anyone seeketh to do evil unto you, do well unto him, and pray for him, and ye shall be redeemed of Yahuwah from all evil. For behold, ye see that out of my humility and long suffering I took unto wife the daughter of the priest of Helipolis, and 100 talents of gold were given me with her. And Yahuwah made them to serve me, and he gave me also beauty as a sunflower as a flower beyond the beautiful ones of Israel. And he preserved me unto old age in strength and in beauty, because I was like in all things to Yaakov.
Chapter 19. Yeah. Chapter 19. I'll just say something else.
You gotta say it loud too.
Chapter 19. Hear ye therefore hear ye therefore my vision which I saw. I saw 12 hearts feeding, and 9 of them were dispersed. Now the 3 were preserved. 3 were preserved, but on the following day they also were dispersed. And I saw that the 3 hearts became 3 lambs, and they cried to Yahuwah, and he brought them forth into a flourishing and well-watered place. Yeah, he brought them out of the darkness into light, and there they cried unto Yahuwah until they gathered together unto them the 9 hearts. And after
And these things.
And they became as 12 sheep. And after a little time they increased and became many flocks. And after these things I saw, and behold, 12 bulls were sucking 1 cow, which produced a sea of milk. And there drank thereof of the 12 flocks, and innumerable herds. And the horns of the 4th bull went up unto heaven, and became as a wall for the flocks. And in the midst of the 2 horns there grew another horn. And I saw a bull calf, which surrounded them 12 times, and it became a help to the bulls wholly. And I saw in the midst of the horns a virgin, wearing a many-colored garment from her. And from her went forth a lamb, and on his right were a lion, and all the beasts and all the reptiles brushed against him. And the lamb overcame them and destroyed them, and the bulls rejoiced because of him, and the cow and the harts exulted together with him. And these things must come to pass in their season. Do you therefore, my children, observe the commandments of Yahuwah, and honor Levi and Judah, for from them shall rise unto you the Lamb of Elohim, who takes away the sin of the world, one who saves all the Gentiles and Israel. For his kingdom is an everlasting kingdom, which shall not pass away, but my kingdom among you shall come to an end, as a watcher's hammock, which after the summer disappears.
Yeah.
Remember earlier, I think it was Judah that also had a vision about bulls, and just we're look at that together.
Yeah.
Some prophecy.
It might have been Levi too. All right, chapter 20. This is wonderful stuff, and he's the 4th son, Yehuda.
Yeah.
All right. For I know that after my death the Egyptians will afflict you, but Elohim will avenge you, and will bring you into that which he promised to your fathers. But ye shall carry up my bones with you, for when my bones are being taken up thither.
There's a lot of misspelling in this.
It's okay. Yahuwah shall be taken up hither. Yahuwah shall be with you in light, and Beliar shall be in darkness with the Egyptians. Remember when they were taking him up, that Esau fought him in the book of Jasher? Right. And carry up. And
was that Joseph?
They were taking his bones, remember?
Yeah.
and Shalom. And carry ye up Azeneth, your mother, to the hippodrome, and near Rachel, your mother, bury her. And when he had said these things, he stretched out his feet and died at a good old age. And all Israel mourned for him, and all Egypt with a great mourning. And when the children of Israel went out of Egypt, they took with them the bones of Joseph, and they buried him in Hebron with his fathers. And the years of his life were 110 years.
Wow.
110. Psalms 110. Melchizedek.
That's quite the.
Yeah, that was beautiful. Cool. Well, brothers and sisters, Yah bless you and keep you. Yah shine his face upon you and give you shalom.